Sunday, July 30th, 2023. You're listening to Weather with Enthusiasm.
Meteorologist Simcha left it. Weather with Enthusiasm is his podcast.
Weather headline starts about 3 minutes in. The interview with YZ starts about 2 minutes in. The marine heat wave segment starts about 14 minutes in. There currently is a special weather statement which has been issued by the Phoenix National Weather Service July 30th at 4:36 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Strong thunderstorms will impact portions of Gila, G-I-L-A, Maricopa, and Pinal counties through 5:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. At 4:35 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking strong thunderstorms. Along a line extending from 6 miles southeast of Tonto Basin to near Superior, movement was west at 15 miles per hour. Hazard is up to 50 mile per hour winds. Radar indicated gusty winds can knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecured objects.
Holy cow!
There's a lot of places which are included in this area. It includes a lot of highways. There's a few thunderstorm warnings which also remain in effect until 5:15 p.m. for Gila and Maricopa counties. And over there you have quarter-size hail, 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roof, siding, and trees. The locations which are included are Roosevelt Dam, Four Peaks, Tonto National Monument, and Roosevelt Estates. We also have the hail threat is up to 1 inch in diameter. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning, which was issued by the Phoenix National Weather Service. It seems to be very similar to previous warnings. So we will leave it at that. And now we go ahead and look at our forecast. We now take you to a 1-minute segment with an interview with Yisrael Zev. Hey, so Zev, you're going to tell us what the weather is, okay? Yisrael Zev, you're in Chicago right now. Do you think it's warm out?
Cold warm.
Cold warm?
Yeah, it means that it's a little warm. But it's a little cold.
It's a little warm, but a little cold. Was it hot yesterday or Friday? Was it hot on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah? What did you do Friday? How do you know it was hot? What did you go?
Because I remember.
You remember. Right, Friday was very hot. It was well into the 90s. I don't know how hot it was. It rained in the morning, it did. Then it became really humid. And at night it did, but in the afternoon it was really hot.
In the night it was pouring, right?
Right, pouring in Camo, right. And the winds, it was unbelievable.
The thunder and lightning.
We now take you to weather headlines. Severe thunderstorms with the potential to produce hail, damaging wind gusts, and even some tornadoes are expected across Montana into Nebraska today.
Holy cow!
Sunday, thunderstorms will fire up again across the southwest. The south will continue to face sweltering heat as high pressure remains firmly in place. But thunderstorms may bring temporary relief to some people. Fox Weather tells us that over 250 million people have been baking in above average temperatures in the U.S.
Oh my gosh.
But relief is on the way for some. As the temperature drops in the north, the number of people experiencing above average temperatures will decrease to under 200 million today. Less than 1 million will have temperatures at least 10 degrees higher than the average by Sunday. Now for some more serious stuff from the National Hurricane Center. The National Hurricane Center is monitoring 2 areas in the Atlantic for possible development. Invest 97L, a tropical disturbance that earlier brought rain to South Florida, has returned north off the Carolina coast. It has a 20% chance of developing over the next 2 days. Meanwhile, Invest 96L in the central Atlantic has a 40% chance in 2 days and a 70% chance in a week. The following comes from Fox Weather. Yesterday on Saturday, on Shabbos, a persistent cluster of storms posed multiple challenges as it traversed from the plains to the Midwest. Several storm reports indicated wind gusts exceeding 60 miles an hour in eastern Nebraska, with peak gusts reaching 81 miles per hour in Dorchester and 78 miles per hour in Plymouth. Across Missouri, over 100,000 power outages were reported on Saturday. Following comes from the NBC Boston. On Saturday, New England encountered severe weather that brought torrential rainfall. Flash flood warnings were put into effect for several counties in Massachusetts, including Suffolk County. In the Boston area, the storm's main impact was flooding as heavy rainfall rapidly inundated the city, with several inches of rain within a short period of time. Powerful windstorm moved across Washington, D.C. Fox Weather tells us on Saturday the District of Columbia, Washington, experienced severe storms that generated hurricane-force wind gusts, causing trees to topple and widespread power outages. The National Weather Service said the storms that swept through the nation's capital were estimated to have over 80 mile per hour wind gusts and were accompanied by heavy rain and frequent lightning. CBS News tells us that New Yorkers are in for a beautiful day. Well, this is for Sunday, July 30th. After a Saturday evening rocked by severe thunderstorms, skies will clear in New York. Sunday is set to bring spectacular weather featuring lower humidity and highs in the lower 80s. A few showers are expected to arrive on Monday. On Monday, the temperature high could be around 83 degrees. The beautiful weather could linger through Wednesday for this week. That again is for the New York City metropolitan area.
Yes!
And as we're going to mention, or perhaps we've already have, the heat in Phoenix is dwindling to some extent. AP News tells us there are increased chances of cooling monsoon thunderstorms Sunday in the Phoenix metro area. That's Phoenix, Arizona. But the wet weather can bring strong winds, blowing dust, and the chance of flooding. By Monday, the region will see temperatures fall under 110 degrees for the first time in a month. Highs are also likely to ease in Las Vegas, Albuquerque, and Death Valley. The Dallas News tells us that North Texas remains under the grip of a persistent heat wave due to high-pressure systems in the upper atmosphere. On Sunday, a heat advisory and air quality alert are in effect. Highs this week will hover near record-breaking levels, frequently reaching 105 to 106 degrees. The likelihood of rain remains low for at least the next 7 to 10 days. On Sunday, Little Rock, Arkansas is expected to reach a scorching 101 degrees with heat indices nearing 110. While there is a 20% chance of showers or storms, it appears that the majority of the activity will be concentrated in northern Arkansas. On Monday, temperatures in northern and central Arkansas will slightly decrease with 98-degree highs. WVTM13 tells us that Alabama's heat wave continues with scattered storms on Sunday. Hot and humid weather persists in Alabama with a heat advisory in effect on Sunday. There are expectations of scattered storms in the afternoon and evening, but widespread severe weather is not predicted. However, a single storm could turn severe, with strong wind gusts being the main concern. The heat index will be near and above 105 degrees. And the Straits Times tells us that the Philippines expects heavy rains. Is Kahunan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Khanun, likely to become a typhoon. The Philippine Weather Bureau issued a warning about the potential for heavy rains, floods, and landslides in mountainous areas of the country as a severe tropical storm, Kahunan, is likely to intensify into a typhoon. Forecasters predict that Kahunan will become a typhoon between Sunday evening to Monday morning, reaching its peak intensity by Tuesday. WCTV tells us that high heat index continues. Warnings in place for Florida, Georgia counties. Several Florida and Georgia counties will remain under an excessive heat warning on Sunday. The National Weather Service reports that on Sunday and Monday, the heat index is predicted to range from 110 to 115 degrees. So the warning will probably be issued again for the Florida counties on Monday. On Tuesday and Wednesday, the heat index will be over 105 degrees. Looks like Palm Springs, California saw rain yesterday. The Coachella Valley experienced its first rains in months on Saturday morning amid several weeks of oppressive summer heat. Over the next few days, more thunderstorms may occur in the mountains surrounding the valley. According to experts, the weather may provide some brief respite from the heat. AP News reports the power was cut off in large swaths of Iraq on Saturday during scorching summer heat and observances of the Shiite holy day of Ashura after a fire broke out at a power station in Basra. The fire at the Al-Bakir substation resulted in the separation of transmission lines, leaking the southern and central areas. On Saturday, the highs reached 116.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That would register as 117 here in the U.S. Just a quick little thing in regards to the solar cycle. This is from UP Worthy. Solar maximum looms. As 2025 approaches, the world anticipates the solar maximum. That's a peak in solar activity that yields dangerous solar storms. Scientists worry about its impact, fearing devastating solar storms disrupting global communication networks and causing massive internet outages. They express concern over infrastructure preparedness. The USA Today reports that Illinois is nearing its all-time record for tornadoes in a single year, surpassing other states that lead in nationwide tornado occurrences. While tornadoes are not uncommon in Illinois, this year's began earlier than usual. The state has already confirmed 97 tornadoes, significantly exceeding the historical annual average of 54 tornadoes. Well, the phenomenal heat dome that's been situated over in the desert southwest is finally going to move east. This is something that people have been wanting. People in Phoenix have been dreaming for this the whole year. It's finally going to move east, and we're going to see a drop in temperatures over the Phoenix, Arizona area. But Dallas, Texas is going to continue to sizzle. In fact, temperatures are going to get even hotter over there as the heat dome positions itself over there. Daytime highs between 104 to 110 degrees. for the rest of the week with excessive heat warnings and heat advisories in effect. The heat has moved south of the Chicago area, as we've heard already, and the heat is even going south of the St. Louis area. We're going to see a quick return of the heat later on in the week to the St. Louis area, but most of this heat remains to our west. We had reports of very warm temperatures, 90-degree heat up in the northern Alaska area. Barrow, Alaska reached record warmth, 74 degrees. That's a true rarity for that area. So we have some intense heat. We are now going, the next segment we'll be discussing the marine heat wave, which is truly something unprecedented and going to strongly impact our weather even in the long term. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned to the next segment. We have a phenomenal heat wave that's taking place not just over the desert Southwest, but even across the southeast portions of the United States. In fact, this is actually a marine heat wave. Temperatures, unbelievable water temperatures of 101 degrees, which occurred right off the coast of Florida in the Everglades National Park. That's really something phenomenal. Now, the Washington Post claims that might have been the hottest water temperature globally ever to be recorded. But the truth of the matter is, the Dead Sea in Israel, that place has seen water temperatures significantly hotter than that. In fact, just a random day when I went there with a mercury thermometer, that day itself had a water temperature of 102 degrees. We also have a report that back in 2017, that summer, we also had a water temperature of 102 degrees at the Everglades National Park area. What's also phenomenal is that that area, water temperatures have been going from 92 in the morning to 101 in the evening, in the late afternoon. You're seeing a 10-degree difference between night and day. The third totally remarkable thing is the fact that the water temperatures are hotter than the daytime air temperatures, and at all times during the day, those water temperatures are hotter. This leads us to the next question of what exactly is causing such heat, and that's really a tremendous mystery. I know a lot of people might think that it's not a mystery because the heat tends to get camouflaged into the summer, and we associate it with summer. But the truth is that this marine heat wave actually started back in April, and it was a global event where temperatures on the bottom of the seafloor went up by significant amounts. We saw actually a record warmth across the globe at the end of April, all the way on the bottom, 5,000 feet down. In some spots, it's even significantly more than 5,000 feet. And there is no reason, scientific reason that's known to us at this time what's causing such warmth on the bottom of the ocean. We have an El Nino. Back then, it was really at the developing stage, if it even was in its developing stage at all. Now it's starting to become into a strong El Nino event, and that's also influencing in general the temperatures. And the marine heat wave is called a heat wave when you have the average water temperatures of 2 degrees or higher over a widespread area. This is going to have very dangerous impacts as we go up to this upcoming winter for the East Coast and the Midwest. Should any Arctic air collide with such moisture, it's going to be something like we have probably never seen before, because we've never seen such a marine heat wave. We're out of time, and this is something that weather enthusiasts can look forward to, but many people might feel the trepidation as we head into the winter, and it's almost a certainty that Arctic air at least will make it into the upper Midwest, and usually it makes its way into the southern portions of the Midwest as well. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day. The following trailer was updated June 7th, 2023. Special guest on our show. What is your name? Temperatures going into the low hundreds for the next 3 days.
Holy cow!
The blackberry winter, that comes up every year here in the Midwest on May 11th. Several additional feet of snow is expected by Monday morning. This was in the forecast from a week ago, and the National Weather Service is finally acknowledging it today. Conditions are favorable for the development of an El Nino. We're going from one extreme to the next extreme. Despite the fact that it's 113 during the day and 46 at night, you could still do a little dance. fact, recorded temperatures during heat bursts have reached well above 104 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Google weather with enthusiasm, and they're all going to come up.
Meteorologist left. Weather with Enthusiasm is his podcast.